Welcome to the second episode of our Photoshop A to Z series. In this episode, we're going to dive deeper into the File menu and explore the new option in detail. What can I learn from this class? From this class, you can learn about the File menu in Photoshop, including the various options such as creating a new document, opening, closing, saving, and exporting files. You will also learn about the details of creating a new document such as preset details and their options. Understanding these options and their uses can help you become more efficient and proficient in using Photoshop for your design and creative projects. As we mentioned in the previous episode, the File menu is where you can access all of the commands related to opening, creating, saving, and exporting files in Photoshop. The new option is a crucial feature in the File menu as it allows you to create a new document from scratch or based on a preset. When you select the new option, the new document dialog box will appear. This dialog box is where you can set up the parameters for your new document. There are several preset options available, including photo, print, art illustration, web, mobile, and film video. Each preset is designed with specific parameters to optimize your workflow for that particular use case. Let's say you want to create a new document for web use. You can select the web preset, and the dialog box will automatically populate the fields with the appropriate settings, such as the document size, resolution, and color mode. However, if you need to customize any of these settings, you can do so in the Preset Details section of the dialog box. The Preset Details section in the New Document dialog box is where you can specify the details of your document such as its size, resolution, color mode, and background contents. Here's a more detailed explanation of each option. Width and height. These options allow you to specify the dimensions of your document in pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, picas, or columns. You can enter values manually. What is pixels? Pixels are the smallest unit of digital image that can be displayed on a screen or printed on paper. The term pixel is short for picture element. Each pixel contains a specific color and brightness value, and when millions of pixels are arranged in a grid, they create a digital image. In digital imaging, the resolution of an image is determined by the number of pixels it contains. The more pixels an image has, the higher its resolution and the more detail it can capture. For example, a low-resolution image might be 640 pixels wide by 480 pixels tall, while a high-resolution image might be 4000 pixels wide by 3000 pixels tall. The individual pixels in a digital image can be manipulated using various software tools like Photoshop to change the color, brightness, or other characteristics of the image. What is width and height? In Photoshop, width and height refer to the dimensions of an image in pixels. Width refers to the horizontal dimension of an image and is measured in pixels. The more pixels the image has in width, the wider the image will be. Height, on the other hand, refers to the vertical dimension of an image and is also measured in pixels. The more pixels an image has in height, the taller the image will be. Together, the width and height of an image determine its aspect ratio, which is the ratio of the width to the height. For example, an image that is 800 pixels wide by 600 pixels tall has an aspect ratio of 4 and 3 pixels per inch or pixels per centimeter. This option determines the resolution of your document, which refers to the number of pixels or dots per inch or centimeter that the image will have. A higher resolution generally results in a higher quality image, but also increases the file size. What is pixels per inch? Pixels per inch is a measurement of the pixel density of an image. It represents the number of pixels that are present in a 1-inch line of an image. The PPI value is important when preparing an image for print or display. The higher the PPI, the more detailed and sharper the image will be when viewed at its intended size. For example, if you have a 300 PPI image that is 4 inches wide by 6 inches tall, it means that there are 300 pixels per inch, resulting in a total of 1200 pixels wide by 1800 pixels tall. It's worth noting that PPI is not the same as DPI, dots per inch, which is a measurement of printer resolution. DPI refers to the number of dots of ink or toner that a printer can print per inch, whereas PPI refers to the number of pixels that are present in an image per inch. Artboards. This option is only available in Photoshop CC and higher versions. It allows you to create multiple artboards within a single document, each with its own dimensions and settings. What is artboards? Artboards in Photoshop CC are a feature that allows you to create multiple canvases within a single document. Each artboard can have its own dimensions, grid, and layer stack, making it easier to work on multiple designs or variations of a design in the same file. Artboards can be accessed by selecting the Artboard tool from the toolbar, or by going to the File menu and choosing New Artboard. You can add, delete, and rearrange artboards in the Layers panel or using the Artboard panel. When you export an artboard, you can choose to export just that artboard or multiple artboards in the same file. This feature is particularly useful for creating designs for web or mobile applications where you need to create multiple screen sizes or variations of a design in the same file. Overall, artboards in Photoshop CC help streamline the design process by allowing you to work on multiple designs or variations in the same file, saving you time and effort in managing multiple documents. Color mode. This option determines the color space in which your document will be created. The most commonly used options are RGB and CMYK. RGB is used for digital images and web graphics, while CMYK is used for print projects. What is RGB and CMYK color mode? RGB and CMYK are two different color modes used in digital and print design respectively. RGB stands for red, green, blue, and it is the color mode used for digital design such as web design and digital graphics. In RGB mode, colors are created by combining different intensities of red, green, and blue light. RGB color mode produces a wider range of colors and is suitable for designs that are intended to be viewed on a screen such as computer monitors, TVs, and mobile devices. CMYK stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and key, black, and is the color mode used for print design. In CMYK mode, colors are created by combining different percentages of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black inks. CMYK color mode produces a narrower range of colors compared to RGB mode but is suitable for printing, as most printers use these four colors to create all the other colors required in a design. It's important to note that when designing for print, it's crucial to use the CMYK color mode and to convert any RGB images to CMYK before sending them to the printer. Using RGB mode for print design can result in colors that appear different from what was intended due to the differences in how color is produced on screen versus on paper. 8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit. This option determines the bit depth of your document, which refers to the number of colors that can be represented in each pixel. An 8-bit image can display 256 colors, while a 16-bit image can display over 65,000 colors. 32-bit images are used for HDR, high dynamic range, photos. Background contents. This option determines the initial color or transparency of the background layer of your document. You can choose from white, black, or transparent. Advanced options. This section contains additional settings for your document, such as pixel aspect ratio, color profile, and anti-aliasing options. These settings are generally used for more advanced projects and can be left as default for basic projects. By using the options in the Preset Details section, you can create a new document with specific dimensions, resolution, color mode, bit depth, and background contents. It's important to choose the appropriate settings for your specific project to ensure that you get the best possible results. Once you've specified all the necessary details, you can click Create to create your new document. Other important options in the File menu include Open, Open as Smart Object, Open Recent, Close, Close All, Save, Save As, and Export. Each of these options serves a specific purpose and can be extremely useful in different scenarios. In this section, we will be learning about opening files in Photoshop. Photoshop supports various file formats, and it's important to know how to open them in the software. Photoshop provides different ways to open files. You can open files through the File menu or by dragging and dropping files into Photoshop. Let's take a look at the different options. Open. The Open option can be found under the File menu. This option allows you to open a file by browsing through your computer's folders. Open as. The Open as option allows you to open a file and specify its format. This option is useful when you have a file in a different format that Photoshop can't recognize. With Open as, you can specify the format of the file and customize its settings. Open as Smart Object. The Open as Smart Object option is similar to the Open as option. However, it allows you to open a file as a smart object, which is a layer that preserves the original image data. This option is useful when you want to maintain the original quality of the image. Open Recent. The Open Recent option displays the recently opened files. You can quickly open a file from the list without having to browse through your folders. Drag and drop. You can also drag and drop files directly into Photoshop. This is useful when you have files saved on your desktop or in a folder that you want to open quickly. Hello and welcome to this section where we will be discussing the process of saving files in Adobe Photoshop. This is an essential skill for anyone working with digital images and graphics, as it allows you to preserve your work and make sure it is easily accessible for future use. Firstly, let's discuss the importance of saving your work frequently. It is highly recommended that you save your files regularly, as it can prevent loss of work in case of an unexpected system crash or power outage. By frequently saving your work, you can ensure that you do not lose hours or days of hard work due to a technical glitch. Now, let's move on to the different options for saving files in Photoshop. The most common options include Save, Save As, and Export. These options can be accessed through the File menu, or by using keyboard shortcuts such as Ctrl+S, Windows, or Command+S, Mac. Save. The Save option is used to save your file in its current state. This option is best used for ongoing projects, where you need to save your progress periodically. When you select Save, Photoshop saves your work in its native file format, which is PSD. This file format is specific to Photoshop and allows you to maintain all of the layers, masks, and effects that you have applied to your image. Save As. The Save As option allows you to save a copy of your file in a different format, such as JPEG or PNG. This option is best used when you need to share your work with others who may not have access to Photoshop or when you need to upload your file to a website or social media platform. When you select Save As, you can choose the file format you wish to save your file in, and Photoshop will save a copy of your work in that format while preserving the original PSD file. Export. The Export option is similar to Save As but is specifically designed for exporting your work to web or mobile devices. This option allows you to optimize your file for the web, reducing file size without sacrificing quality. When you select Export, you can choose the file format, compression settings, and other options that best suit your needs. It's important to note that when you save your work in a different file format, such as JPEG or PNG, you may lose some of the layer and mask information that you have applied to your image. Therefore, it's always a good idea to save your work in PSD format as well, so that you have a copy of the original file with all of its layers intact. In conclusion, saving your work frequently and using the right file format is crucial for anyone working with digital images and graphics. By understanding the different options for saving files in Photoshop, you can ensure that your work is preserved and easily accessible for future use. It seems like you have covered all the essential options for managing files in the File menu. However, there may be other options available in the File menu that could be useful in certain situations. These options could include Print, Print Settings, Page Setup, Close, Close All, Close and Go to Bridge, and Revert. Although these options may not be necessary for your current project or script, they could be useful in the future depending on the specific needs of the user. It's always good to be familiar with all the options available in the software and how they can be used. In the next class, we will dive into the Edit menu, which contains various essential commands such as undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, and more. These commands are crucial to know, as they will enable you to modify and enhance your images efficiently. So, stay tuned for the next class in our Photoshop A to Z full guidelines.